Okay, good morning.
Hey, good morning. We are up to Shin Lameches Siv Gimel. Zug HaMekashkesh L'Shos. You have a clock, a grandfather clock, one of the that sounds every hour. Also, Ade B'Shkolos, right? It's a clock, a grandfather clock. Mutar La'archo U'La'achinu B'Yom K'dei She'elech L'Kashkesh Kol Shabbos. You can swing the pendulum so that it will go all Shabbos. This is really more where they talk about alarm clocks. I jumped the gun, but over here, it's based on this. As long as it's set from before Shabbos, even if it makes a noise, even if it makes it gongs or rings, every hour in the hour, that's okay, because everyone knows that that's what a clock does. That's why I said you have a buzzer, you have an alarm going off, regular alarm. It shouldn't be a problem. There's definitely no problem. I just made I don't know about if you have songs playing on a cell phone to wake you up. I'm bringing the Shaimar or the Shaila. You don't have the heter of everyone knows because maybe you're just listening to music, right? It's not, you can put on whatever song you want, so therefore things are unclear. I don't have a clear achra, and I'm just bringing the point up. Someone who is watching his stuff from animals, lo yisbo kaf el kaf. He can't clap, v'lo yitapech kapa v'al yerecha, and he can't give a slap on his knees, v'lo yiraked l'havricha, and he can't do a jig to scare them off. Gzera shebel yitol tzvor yizvok lahem. It's gzera because maybe you'll take a rock and throw it at them, and then it's going to go, and it's going to be hotzah or dalamus, and it's going to be a problem. Now, clapping in general, the issue is going to be, we're going to see, is clapping to a beat, but clapping to wake someone up, I think that's okay because you're not going to throw a rock at him, at least not in Rosh Hashanah. But it's, so that would be, if you're in your house and a bird comes, a bird, you want to scare a bird or cat away or something like that could be is also okay if it's by your chotzer. It's just if you're guarding your fruits and things out in Rosh Hashanah. And they bring also snapping with your fingers is also a discussion. If you're snapping to a beat, so again, that's an issue, but if you're just snapping to wake someone up, it's also fine. And don't play with nuts or apples, some sort of marble game or something like that, because maybe you'll smooth out the floor. I wasn't sure if it means because when you roll the apples it's going to smooth the floor, or you're going to make the playing field smooth. Either way, it's a gzera. Karka only on the ground. Of Al-Gabi Shulchan Shari, you can play on a table, or if we have a tiled floor, it's also fine. You're allowed to play with bones, which they call chich. So it's unclear. Even though it makes a noise. Some say it's chest, but they all ask what noise does chest make? Now the few other options it could be is it's some, I saw someone to me it's Chamesh Avani, but that's a chiddush. I don't know if that's the case. Could be it's something that the chich of dice and something like backgammon, sheshbesh. That's constantly making noise, and you're constantly shaking up the dice, and that's part of the game of sheshbesh is making is rolling the dice. That's like the sound. I'm thinking maybe that's what it's talking about. If it's chess, maybe they used to do not like nowadays where you sat there and thought. They just, did 1, 2, 3, 4, kept on knocking pieces off. So I don't know. But that's all we're talking about when there's a heter, when you're playing a game. Also, if you're doing some sort of gambling or something, then even if you're feel sort of a time of a choser that you play some sort of odds and evens, some sort of game like that. That's like mekach memkar. So any sort of gambling, even if it's for fun, even whatever, is like mekach memkar. We're not dealing with mutter or not. That we discussed about the kubia, whether that's again machlokes mechaber rama in Choshen Mishpat.
I would say that maybe these days it's compared to
even playing rock, paper, scissors, if it's for money,
anything for whatever. Because it's better that they stay ignorant and don't pay attention. That we saw in Shinches for playing with a ball where the Mechaber Asrs and the Ramah's Matir. Discussion about playing games on Shabbos. Or stop playing games. It seems like, I think Miller said also that the Mechaber held very strongly that playing games is no toelis. So even on Shabbos it's an issue. It seems the Ramah was more...
What's the problem? Muktzah?
No, it's not muktzah, it's not like, just like so it gets to the Mahalukis, are you allowed to do other chokhmas, things like that. What are you allowed to be oisik with on Shabbos? So if you're going to do something where there's a possibility you're going to come to some sort of malacha, so if it's, or ashvaguma, there's no tzarech, then you can't do it. I saw eventually Mark Sia quoted from the Yaakov Emden, said that, but he asked the Kasha, he says that, but it used to be that, Gdolim, you play chess. It was a known thing that even there's this famous story, the famous story of, whether Rashi's Rebbeim or Rabbeinu Gershon's Talmidim or his sons, I don't remember, where it says that he used to play chess with his son, and he was, this is the story goes, brought down, I don't know, that, and they were the best, no one could beat him except his son, something like that, and the son was kidnapped, and brought up into a minzar, and eventually he came back as a free whatever, and then they played chess and he beat him, and he realized it was his son. So you see, obviously, and he was like the Gadol Ador, so the Mark Sia says that there were times when Gedolim needed a break, needed some sort of mental break. So they did something, they were osik in something, at least was, have some sort of chokhmah to it. A little bit we kept the brain sharp. It wasn't completely just like schok ba'alma. Of course, if you're playing with your kids, and you're doing it to enjoy Shabbos, that's fine, because that's a tzarech. If they want to play a game with you, whatever. Monopoly is, person can say, is better not to, because it's very doma to Mekach Memkar. You can play, but it's better to avoid that. When it comes to games, which you might have to write for, like, you write points down and things, that's part of the game. There's also a shiloh of make a rishimot, and you might come to write, like they talk about Scrabble, things like that. But Al-Kapanim, that's the general halacha. Also, lishav mayim bagalgal, you can't use like a water wheel or something. Zeresh shamiyim alin liginasa v'churbaso or lemishra shel pishta, and you'll fill it up fill up stuff to water your gina and stuff. If you had none of these things around, then it would be like in your house or something. Some sort of water pump, there's some sort of pump or some sort, I don't know, I assume some sort of pump or small water wheel, which would I don't know, something like that. I don't know exactly. That's where we're talking about some sort of large water wheel, which would fill up things easy. It's some sort of wheel that had buckets attached to it, which would, right. You're not going to go ahead and start watering plants and things. You see it's going to rain. You see the fruit on the roof, and it's going to rain. Also, the Shalshalom b'Shabbos derech haruba shebagag, you can't take them and lower them down through the skylight in your roof of mutter the chasos, and you are allowed to cover them. If you have anything which is going to be ruined by rain, or if there's a leak or some sort in your house or whatever it is, you are allowed to cover it, even though it's it's mutter. Although the Magen Avraham brings of Marshal, who was machmer by all the other chonim are cholek, that you're allowed to go ahead and to cover it, just you can't move them if they're muktzah. Motor litain kli tachas adelos for Shabbos. You're allowed to put a bucket under a leaking ceiling, leaking roof on Shabbos. In the smale shovcho machzir l'mkom. If it fills up, you're allowed to spill it out and put the bucket back. Hushi adelef roi rechitza. That's only if the water is clean enough that you would wash it. It's not muktzah water. It's not filthy, disgusting water. About im ein roy also mishum sheino is a graf sharei l'chachila. That's doing a graf sharei l'chachila, and it's gross water. You want to spill it out. You nasan kli tachas adelv sheino roy l'rechitza. If you did put a kli there, muter l'taltal b'mayim me'usim shabo. If you did do it, then you were allowed to go ahead and to metaltal it. The other eitzes is to you sit over there. That's a haramba. Then you can start filling up buckets. Or else, before you put the bucket there, you put a bit of water in. Even though I guess if it turns it really dirty, if it's roy for something, for rechitza, it's just shofrim would be a problem. Then if it's roy natil sedayim, it would be okay. So if it's dripping from the air conditioner, there's a discussion about nolad or not. That's a discussion. But so if you talk a hold that the water dripping from the air conditioner is nolad, then the taka is an issue. I think
the water in there from before, does that help?
That would help. The problem if it's really dirty water, really dirty dripping water, and then
So the two times that it's aiming about them cleaning it is if it's dirty and not raw.
well, no, right,
That's no.
right, things like that.
Make shaman, that's also considered no.
No, that's not nolad. Make sure it's not nolad. No. Yeah. Fine. Shouldn't have a test. It's also to ride an animal on Shabbos. We had this before. Gzera, that the person's going to come to tear a branch off to use as a riding stick or something. Ain't shatin afnei hamayim. You can't float on the water. Afilu bebrecha shebachatzer. Even you have a pool in your chatzer. Bnei shemayim nekarim v'yotzim chutz bebrecha, because of the water was going to spill out. Dami lanar. It's going to be like a nar. It's going to be like zeichlim. So then, if the dummy there's an isser losher, there's an isser to go ahead and to go rafting on Shabbos, go on a boat on Shabbos, because you might come to make a raft. So therefore, if you're swimming in something where the water is going to spill out and it's dama to a nar, so then that gzera applies. If the gzera is by a river, so I guess a little bit of gzera, but that's what they're going through it. In Yeshla Safa Saviv Mutter, but if it has a rim, a lip around it, that it's not going to, completely spill out when you go in, and it's Mutter, even if it jumps up, it's going to splash back in. We're not choshish by a kli, you're going to go ahead and make a raft. Two interesting nekudas. One is there is a discussion Hilchos Mikvos, just a side issue completely. The discussion here about swimming pools in the ground. Obviously, swimming pool above ground, that's what we're talking. A swimming pool in the ground itself is that. So usually they're not full 100% that it splashes back in, but sometimes they do splash over. Does splash over. Is that dova to a nar or not? Pashtus no. Although there is a discussion by a mikvah, that interesting discussion in Hilchos Mikvah, a person is tovel in a mikvah, whether the fact that the water splashes out, it makes it into zeichlim, and might potentially passel the mikvah or not. So, okay, we get to mikvahs, but that's a similar idea to here, that it's, I guess it could be it splashes out and rolls downhill. I don't know, something like that. But technically a swimming pool will be mutter according to this, but all the posts can say that Xeris V'chitza asks us from going swimming, and everyone's makabel not to go swimming on Shabbos unless it's like going to a mikveh or something, or even if your person's done kamekar, it's a bit of a shver heter, even stick your legs in, something like that, but to go into a pool, we're machver, it's also to go into a pool on Shabbos, unless it's a mitzvah or something, and so that's not because of the gzera of swimming.
Why didn't the Mechaber mention it?
He mentions that first of all, the thing about that is more achronim talk about it, more recent poskim talk about it, because swimming pools were common. So it's more recent poskim talk about the fact, well, nowadays in Mitzias they have swimming pools. How do we go? And all the poskim say that modern day poskim say that it's exeris v'chitza. We don't do it. Gimel aim etapki lahakos kaf al kaf. We don't clap. V'lo misapki lahakos kaf al yorech. You can't slap your knee. V'lo meraktim. We don't dance. Gzeres shemi takin klishir, because we might come to take out a musical instrument, and and I've seen this like Malchus, whatever, that people will start clapping, dancing, and then some guy just pulls out his guitar and starts playing. You see these things happen, so maybe you come to metakin it. If you hakos be'etzbal karka, even to go ahead and bang your finger on the ground or on the luach, or achas kedeged achas, or to like snap it kederech mishorim, or kashkesh be'egos the tinok, or to make make a rattling sound for a baby, to call el sachek bezuk kedei sheishtok, or to ring a little bell so he'll quiet down. Kol zekiyotze bo also because you may come to metakin klishir gzera shem yitakin klishir. Might come to Mataka in the klishir, Lusapik lachayad mutter, but the klak lachayad is 100% mutter. Rishinui, you clap, backwards, that's 100% mutter. Hagav v'hada masapkin merakti ha'idda, lo machinim b'ru'ah, you see people are dancing, singing on Shabbos, and no one makes a machala mishum, the mutter shivushoyim ayum izidim, because, they say that ignorance is bliss. If you don't know, it's better that if you tell them they're going to bring terutzim, no, it's mutter, it's whatever, it's better not to say anything. Yesha, the bizman hazeh kol shari. So the shittas tesis is that nowadays everything's mutter. The ain't under bekim b'siyas klishir. We don't know, a few people know how to fix a musical instrument. Like a migzar shem yitakein klishir. Now I don't know if tightening the chords on a guitar is called matakin klishir, because people do know it, but I don't know. The mills of the shchiachu. The efshal zeh nagu lahakol bakol, the noig like Tosis, there are poskim who are matir completely, the feed like Tosis, and that's what many people are samichan. The shaila is why is it mutter? So the Chassidim talk about the Lomid Schos that the B'Shacher on the Shulchan Aruch. So and the Eshel Avram says that listen, if we said before you're allowed to clap and sing for Simchas Torah, so Kol Shekain for or for Chosin Kala, you're allowed to clap and sing for Chosin Kala. Kol Shekain for Kodesh Baruch Hu. Now this gets down into Shaila: is there Simcha on Shabbos, not Simcha on Shabbos, which is there's a din simcha as a mechilkas in Rishonim, I think. Yeah, it's pashtus there isn't. It's just a dinoneg, but there are those who say there is. The other heter is interesting. The Orach Shulchan, which is I think that's the heter most people are samechan, is that he says that nowadays most people says that which they offered clapping and singing whatever is when it was to a ketzer, it was like a cappella. Right? People they will do a cappella and that was part of the music, and therefore if it was off, something was offbeat, they come to let's do something with the music and different things like that. So nowadays, most of the people clapping and singing, there's no shaykhs to the music. Meaning, I don't know, obviously the person's off key, but even besides that, the people try to clap and sing, and most people you always know the person by Shalosh Shidduch who's trying to drum, and you have no idea what tune he's trying to drum to, or he's just drumming randomly, whatever, these types of things. So he said they're dancing also, it was a type of dance which was all part of the performance, part of the music. They said that nowadays, the dancing around, listen, walking around in a circle, you didn't talk about that. That's not specifically, dancing to a, that's part of a lockstep thing. He says unlike, Rikidas Noshim. So if you go to a chasna, the women have all these types of, interesting dances and stuff, and they do dances to the music and do tenuot or do different moves and things. So that would be a problem on Shabbos, but just the man, going around in a circle, it could be sonich lachakel. And I did see though, someone points out, that when people say, "Oh, you're dancing on Shabbos, it's mutter," then I saw Avnei Ashpe, says, I don't understand. He says, Chazal say it's also. So Kavod Shabbos is to follow Chazal, not to say, Kavod Shabbos I know better than Chazal. That's what his taina is. It's like, Kavod Shabbos, I have a stained shirt, so I'm going to clean it. It's not Kavod Shabbos to have a stained shirt. What do you mean? How goof is Kavod Shabbos, but, the Minchas Elazar says is that a person gets rischa the simcha, and he's eines, he gets up and he has to dance. What to be samichan. Dalet ein danim, we don't do dinim. Agav alachein also litpois ulhachnis veis asar. Mishin is chayav is onish. Keishal yivrach, you can't put him in jail. Nor like the case of the Mekoshesh. I don't know when they put him in jail. Last week's parsha, I don't know when they put the Mekoshesh in jail. It was on Shabbos. I don't know, but that you shouldn't do. But if the person's a danger, he's a mazik. You need to. You put him somewhere because he's, is dangerous, whatever it is. That's a mutter on Shabbos. Of course, you can call if it's much dangerous, you can call the police. However, and this is not, you don't have to worry about it. The Shabbat said, brings the Achronim and say, if a person's trying to run away because a guna, so he shows up in town, Shabbos, he won't catch me, whatever, the resident's allowed to go ahead and chop him so he doesn't run away, so you can force him to give a get. Lo makadshim, you don't do kiddushin. Agav yesh matir l'kadosh heichad de'ein lo isha ubanim. Some matir in the case he has an isha ubanim. Now obviously if you can do it until Shabbos, why do it now? But I guess, a situation where they're flying, I don't know, whatever it is. If I do adin aknisa l'chuppah shari, there was a ma'isa with the Ramah. Orach Chaim brings a ma'isa with the Ramah that there was a whole Yisrael. The Yisomos had to get married, and there was a whole delay. And so he performed for the Yisomos. He performed the chuppah 2 hours after Shabbos because of Kavod Abrius, the poor, whatever. Even in the dunya, there was, they said, how much you're giving in the ksuba for Svardim, or how big of a dira, and they went arguing for hours on Yom Shishi, so how much support, and then gets pushed off, have a biush lekalo lechasan, don't do chuppahs and things on Shabbos, but Erev Shabbos. Very interesting Maisa, just when the Taka does work, there was a story, the Maisa with Rabbi Yoshev, other Gedolim, I think it's Rabbi Yoshev, it said that there was a person who was dying on Shabbos, and he had a from brother somewhere in Europe somewhere, and they didn't know where he was. And so if he would be nifter, his wife would fall to Yibum, and many kids, and she'd be in Yiguna, because who knows where this guy is, if he found him, he wouldn't even do anything, or whatever. So he had a chap that his brother's mother-in-law lived in Yerushalayim, and so therefore he made, and she was single, she was almana, whatever it was. So he said, okay, call her here, and he had him mekadesh the mother-in-law, so on Shabbos, and then he was nifter, so that when she wouldn't fall to Yibum, because there would be a Taurus, whatever, and then that in that case, Kedushin would be mutter. What, the Kenyan, doing a Kenyan, that's part of the problem, is doing a Kenyan, it's not, why is it mutter? Yeah, because Kenyan is not also b'deraisa on Shabbos. It's a Berkach Memkar. All these things because of Kenyan, but you shouldn't do it. If you did, don't do hektish. We do mafresh. Lo marichin, we don't do erichin. Lo machrimin, lo mafrishin. Trumas amaisers, we shouldn't do trumas amaisers. Although there are certain kulas and trumas amaisers. If you forget. No, yeah, but even and Chala's Chutzaretz, you could just leave it over. That's not being mafresh straight out. Trumas amaisers is complicated. Ein podin haben, doesn't put in a ben, vein megarshim, no gitin, alinkin who get shchibira, it's mamish al parak l'taki fla'alma, or iguna, the guy, okay, he can't write again on Shabbos, but he has to get ready, and he's okay, I'm leaving. You can have him give the get. Ukula nasu shoygin or mizdidin or mutarin, masha also, and it's chal. Chonis es almana lo yava lea bia rishona, lo b'Shabbos, lo b'yomtiv, because that is a Kenyan. There's a discussion about the chuppahs nida. So they say she shouldn't go to, some posts go to Matri, but I think she doesn't go to mikvah on the Shabbos, so there shouldn't be a Kenyan, shouldn't be a Gemara Kenyan in the Suin. Also, la'adam lahashit b'mayim davar la'olicho me'etzlo l'vio etzlo. You can't put something on a raft to pull it over to float it to him or not. L'chein case ma'al l'mayim also have tzilam. L'kan l'nachas l'mayim shu yafim. You can't take it if there's a piece of wood. You shouldn't. You have a pool or something. You want to pull the wood over or to float it, and it's going to clean the top of the pool. That would be also. Sfina im hi yosheves bakarka hayam, if it's sitting down, if it's like sunk down into the under the sea, and the shata clouds too heavy and sunk into the chol or whatever, into the sand. Mutu the kanisba, it's mutu to go into it. V'im hi kshura kiminig asfinos, but if it's tied down on the sphenomel, aval pi shehi, or there's an anchor or something, aval pi shehi shata pleyamayim. Mutter l'kanisba, and also it's mutter to go ahead and to go into a boat on Shabbos if it's tied down, and if the person was going to shvisa over there, we had back in the being going to shvisa back in the early halachos of Shabbos that he's allowed to go and go to shvisa on Shabbos, go down from the boat and go back on the boat if it's sailing. There's no problem. The problem is, taking a boat trip, taking a big ship is okay, but taking like a raft or something, that's, if you have a gzera, maybe you're going to go ahead and make a raft, but that's not the gzera doesn't apply by a large boat, just a question of tchumin and things and whatever. So we'll stop here. Okay.